Imagine it's a nice, crisp Friday afternoon. Your paycheck hits, and you're happy. You get that dopamine rush. Dang, I just got some money. You have a good weekend. Maybe you hang out with some friends, and then Monday rolls around. Boom, electric bill. Boom, car insurance. Boom, phone bill. Boom, groceries. Right? Sometimes it feels like no matter how much you guys try and save, how much you try and get ahead, stuff always comes up. And partially that's because of our current economy and current world in 2025 and inflation and all that. But also, part of that's just probably from your guys' own habits and budget. In this video, I'd like to talk about some of the biggest money mistakes that could be holding you back from financial freedom. If you feel like no matter how hard you work, your bank account never seems to grow, then you're not alone. So many people, especially in America, make these same common mistakes. Mistakes that keep them stuck in the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. 76% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, by the way. But here's the good news. Once you understand what these mistakes are, you can start taking control and action of your money. And that's where real change happens. In this video, I'm going to break down the 5 or 6 biggest money mistakes that I can think of off the top of my head that are keeping you broke and how you can fix them. These aren't just random tips either. These are strategies that can completely transform your financial situation if you take them seriously. Let's dive in. Living beyond your means. And listen, guys, I understand that in 2025, it is hard. I get it. I'm right there with you. I came from a background with no handouts. Everything I have, I've got on my own, right? So I understand. But living beyond your means is just not good for you long term. And here's the reason why. First of all, who are you trying to impress? So many people in the modern world live beyond their means, not because they want to, but because they think that other people are caring and what they do, what they drive, where they live. So they try to impress others when in reality, those people weren't even thinking about you in the first place, bro. You know how people are gotta prove my haters wrong. Listen, dude, you're just the average person. You probably don't have that many haters, right? I even used to think this a lot too. I'd be I got so many haters. Yes, is it possible you have a few haters? Sure. But the grand scheme of things, unless you're world renowned, very well known person, you probably don't have that many haters. You shouldn't care that much about, what's going on with, Mrs. Jones, your neighbors, or what they're driving or where they're living or what they're wearing. None of that matters. What matters is being smart about your money and not being stressed every month about the bills, the groceries, going out to eat. Don't you want more freedom? Freedom comes from margin. It's simple math. Spending more than you make, relying on credit cards to cover the gap, or trying to keep up with others to impress them is how most people go about living beyond their means. And when you do this, living paycheck to paycheck with no room for savings or emergencies, that is just not a way to live long term. And if you're spending more than you're bringing in, no matter the amount of side hustles you do, none of that will fix the problem. You're essentially digging yourself into a deeper hole every month. I've seen a statistic that said that, there was, I forget the percentage, but there was a good percentage of Americans who made over 6 figures that were still living paycheck to paycheck. A lot of it's psychological. And the second thing I would say is just not having a proper budget or financial plan. This ties in as well with the first one, but if you don't have a budget, that is literally setting sail without a map. You're just drifting aimlessly and hoping you end up somewhere good. And quite frankly, numbers add up fast. Not tracking where your money goes every month, no goals or plans to save, invest, or pay off debt, and you're left wondering where all your money went at the end of the month. And this is not a good plan, short or long term. Without a clear financial goal and plan, you're not in control. You might make money, but if you don't know where it's going, you always be one step behind. And this is important because I used to be like this. Schools don't necessarily teach students how to have a proper budget and how to really plan their finances out. And that's one thing that you need to make a priority because, you might get taught certain things, but having a financial budget or plan is quite frankly one of the most important things in your life. And if you don't have a plan, you're never going to be in control of your money. The third one I would say is avoiding investments or being afraid of them. Not investing your money is quite frankly like planting seeds in the ground, but never watering them. Your wealth will never grow. And a lot of people will make their money and they'll either spend it all because they'll say, oh, I have some extra money left over for my paycheck, that's more of a psychological thing at that point. Or they'll leave it in their quote unquote savings where they make 0.1% interest on it. Like you're going to make like a penny like on your money. So at the very least, open a high yield savings account because, depending on the bank, you're probably going to get anywhere from like 4 to 5.5% with a high yield. So at that rate, you're at least beating inflation because inflation, it's going to be at least 2-3% probably every year. But if you have a high yield, you're at least going to beat inflation. Your money will grow. And at the very minimum, you should be investing into your future. Avoiding investments is one of the biggest mistakes people make. Luckily for myself, I'm still relatively young. I'm 25. I'm currently investing $500 a month into a Roth IRA, which is, it's around $6,000 a year. I'm investing in Roth IRA, and then I also have a 401k with my job that I'm investing in. They match like a 4% of that off my base, and I think that's important to do because you're setting up yourself for the future. And if you think about it, like let's be honest. Most of the time when you have extra money. We do live in the most marketed to society of all time. I don't know if you guys are aware of that, but we quite literally in 2025 are the most marketed to society of all time. You walk around New York Times Square, there's millions of billboards everywhere. You open your phone, you're getting YouTube ads, you're getting Twitch ads, you're getting Instagram ads. Like there's ads everywhere. Every single day, multiple people are trying to sell you something. So if you're not diligent with your money, they'll take your money from you and they'll have you buying products you don't need. You need to invest your money not only because it will keep you from spending unnecessary money that you don't need, and it will help your future self and your future family prepare for those times. Fourth area where people really do make mistakes, and I'm very passionate about this one, but ignoring debt, especially high interest debt. We could even take it back all the way to the Bible. The borrower is the slave to the lender. And people can say what they want, but that's true. If you borrow money from someone, something, or an institution, you quite literally are a slave to them because you owe them the money. There are so many people that are just stuck in debt for like literally the rest of their life, whether that's a mortgage debt, whether that's a car. A lot of people don't even know this, but when you go buy a car, that's debt. A lot of people don't even think about it. You ask people, are you debt free? They're like, oh yeah, I'm debt free. And then they have $1,000 a month car payment. That you're not debt free. You have to keep that in mind. Don't ignore debt, especially high interest debt. Now, if someone were to say to me, hey, do you want to borrow $10 million and at a 0% interest rate? Okay. In that imaginary situation, maybe debt wouldn't be so bad. But in all reality, most debt is bad. Most people have credit card debt with a 22% APR. Most people have car loans at 8% interest rates. Most debt is bad. Now, are there certain situations where you can potentially leverage debt? Yes. But for the average person who is not leveraging some crazy debt strategy to flip 100 houses, most people, debt is bad. And ignoring interest debt is literally like trying to fill up a pool that has leaks in it. Like you're never going to get ahead that way. Letting credit card debt or payday loans pile up without paying it down, making minimum payments and thinking it'll eventually go away, avoiding your student loans like a pet that stayed around too long, that's just not a good strategy. And if I were to recommend anything to anyone, especially if you're starting, like say you're watching this video right now and you're like, wow, I do have some debt, and I would like to pay it off. I think the best strategy for that is, I could happily lay out a plan for you, but I think your best bet is just to go watch Dave Ramsey. He has a plan called the snowball plan, the baby step plan, I believe, and has like 6 or 7 steps. That's going to be your best plan for paying off debt. So go watch the Dave Ramsey videos because he'll help you with that. The fifth mistake that people make, and this is also ties into pretty much just all of them, that would be focusing too much on short-term pleasures. I know a lot of people like this, and like I said, it's not bad to have fun in life. It's not bad to go out and enjoy things. But I would argue that it's more fun to make the right decisions and watch your money grow for you. Not be in debt, not be stressed about your money. A lot of people chase short-term pleasures like eating junk food, ordering DoorDash, Instacarting groceries to their house, ordering pizza 5 times a week, right? Like it's satisfying for a moment, but it leaves you feeling empty and drained in the long run. And spending money on immediate gratification, eating out, impulse buys, things like that, it's just not going to serve you in the long term, nor in the short term, actually. Like it's really not going to serve you overall. The only way it serves you is quite literally in the extremely short term, the amount of happiness you get from eating that slice of pizza. But after that, you're going to feel like crap and you're going to be wasting money. And quite frankly, you're sacrificing long-term financial security for temporary happiness. So you're not thinking about your future goals or savings. And at the end of the day, short-term pleasures will not bring you financial security. If you focus on instant gratification now, you might find yourself struggling later with no savings or financial stability. I hear people say all the time, oh, like I'd love to pay off my debt, but like it's so hard. Like, dude, it's hard to be in debt. It's hard to never have savings. It's hard to be stressed about the groceries, going out to eat. It's hard to not be able to take vacation for 5 years. All that is hard. So why don't you just make the right decision now so your life can at one point be a little easier? There you have it, right? The top 5 money mistakes that could be holding you back from financial freedom. Focusing on that short-term pleasure, not really educating yourself overall about personal finance, ignoring debt, avoiding investments, not having any budget at all, and living beyond your means. That is what keeps most people broke in 2025. And at the end of the day, the good news is all these mistakes are fixable with a little bit of effort and mindset shift. The key is to take responsibility for your financial situation and start making smarter choices today. Not tomorrow, not Monday, not 5 years from now, today. But I want to hear from you guys. Have you ever made any of these money mistakes? Which one do you think is the most common, or how have you worked to fix it? Drop a comment below and let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts and any tips you might have for even me or any other people watching this video that have helped you get on track with your finances. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another money-saving tip. Let's start making smarter financial decisions together. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.